Hello, hello, greetings, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's movement medicine morsel. And we are continuing the theme of the inner philosophy of yoga, the inner practices of yoga, which are less known than the postures. But since this is National Yoga Month, I think it's a really nice way to celebrate. And today's yama, or moral precept, ethical precept, is aparigraha. So, what does this mean? One of the translations is non hoarding. So, we can look at this as non possessiveness, the ability to let go, to not cling to things. And in this pandemic time, we've really been given the opportunity to reevaluate what's important, what's necessary, what are frills. And that's going to be different for everybody because aparigraha is different depending on our age, our stage in life. The aparigraha or a non-possessiveness for a single student would be very different from a family raising several children and educating them. So again, it's customized. So, what is non possessiveness when it comes to movement, when it comes to breathing, when it comes to yoga practices? We can look at, in terms of our possessions, the idea of minimalism, the idea of what do we need versus what do we want. Are we filling some empty places in ourselves by going shopping? Do we see that our value depends on how big our house is, how many cars we have? Do we wear the latest fashions, et cetera, et cetera? Do we own 100 white shirts, that kind of thing? So, minimalism is a movement that is in accord with non possessiveness or aparigraha. But in terms of, say, yoga or qigong, what might this mean? Are we happy with our own position in yoga? If we're stiff, if we're not a flexible person, can we be happy with our expression of our yoga or our qigong movement? Do we start practicing because we want to be better than the person on the next mat? Do we strive for something and really push ourselves further than we need to and perhaps injure ourselves? Can we be happy with showing up for yoga to connect with ourselves, to relax, to breathe, to feel good in our skin? And is that enough? Is that okay? The older I get, and now I'm over 50 years, well over 50 years into my practice of yoga, there were times in my earlier life where I definitely wanted to be the person who stands out in class. I wanted my teachers to notice me. I wanted to be hyper flexible. And I have some of the war wounds and injuries that go with that kind of striving. And now I'm really happy with showing up, tuning into my breath, and tuning into movements that nourish my body and make me feel better. And that's good enough for me. So I've simplified my needs and wants according to yoga. And I'm just putting out some of these ideas so maybe some of you haven't heard these thoughts before. Maybe you didn't know that some of these ethical precepts are part of yoga. So, in a way, we're also aligning our internal stance, our emotions, how we live in this world, how we look at our neighbors, our fellow beings, whether they have 4 legs, 2 legs, whatever the color of their skin, they may be trees, and so forth, the elements, the air, the sky. We're practicing together. All of us are in this together. All of us are in this together, all sentient, all beings, all conscious beings, whatever form they take, we're all in this together. So, how do we practice kindly, not taking more than our share, leaving enough for others, and respecting and loving all forms of life? So, that's my talk for today. Now we get into applying some of the practices through the um, veil or through the filter of looking at all of these things. So let us be enough as we are. Let us do our practice to connect with our breath, to connect with our bodies as they are today in our different ages and stages of life. And let us practice being calm And the calmer and the more centered we are, the less we need to look outside for extra things to boost our egos. We can be enough and we can simplify. So let's simplify into our posture. We want our feet planted on the ground and feel your feet. Feel the texture underneath your feet. Feel the ground. Also feel your bum in the chair. You can wiggle a little bit. Feel the surface. I'm on a hard wooden stool. Maybe you're on a soft chair. And these are different experiences, but we want to feel those. So we're feeling our foundation. And now we want to grow into our most beautiful vertical alignment, connecting with the star and the heavens and the suns above and the moon. And let that inspire us to grow tall. So the spine is long and free. And let's inhale and shrug our shoulders up, and exhale softly, let our shoulders melt down. Inhale, shrug the shoulders up, feel that. Exhale, let the shoulders melt down. And one more time. Inhale, feel what you feel in your body, and exhale, relax. Take a moment to rest your hands one on top of another on the low belly. Feel the contact. Feel the air on your skin. And as you inhale, breathe into the belly and let it expand. Let your hands feel this shift. And exhale, let everything relax. The simple pleasure of feeling the hands on the belly, feeling the breath flow into the body, the feeling of being alive, simplicity, and appreciating how deep you can go into the simplicity. Feel the air or the breeze on your skin. Notice the feel of your clothing. Notice the satisfaction of smooth, gentle, relaxed breathing. So pushing and striving, if you were to, you want to get a bigger breath, maybe you think a bigger breath is a better breath, but if it's strained, it's not a better breath. We're going back into that striving, into that pushing, into thinking that we need something more than what is here in this moment. We miss this precious moment if we're trying to live up to some idea that we have of what we should look like or sound like when we're practicing yoga, or what we used to look like when we were practicing yoga. And here is this beautiful moment where everything can fall into place and we can connect with our breath, our mind, our body. Now, sometimes we strive to be other than we are or want other things from outside because we feel overwhelmed or we feel we're lacking. So a nice way to clear any of this is to get in touch with our own hearts. So let's place our hands on our heart and breathe into this loving touch at the breastbone. Your lungs can't help but be included. So here's another way to really feel the breath and love the breath and love our precious hearts, the source of consciousness, the seat of consciousness in yoga. Not the brain, not the mind, but the heart. So awakening the feeling of self-love, awakening the wonder at our own heart, our own breath. And now we'll make a little tent over the heart, in front of the heart, and the hands are just a little bit away from the body. And we're going to release any smoky, sticky, heavy energy because we can be picking up feeling tones from people around us, from our own experience, and even from the news and the situation in the world. So we're going to use a sound, ha, and we're going to let that sound carry away any heaviness that may have been lodged in our hearts. And the gesture will be to press the hands forward, keep the wrists extended, and just push that out. We're sending that way out, and then we relax and soften And on the inhalation, we bring in fresh healing energy. Let's do that together. Take a breath in. Clearing, clearing, clearing all to the edges of the earth. Feel that stretch and soften. And on the inhalation, receive the blessings of the air, the sky, the earth. Clearing, releasing, emptying. And on the inhale, softening and allowing the fresh, beautiful, nourishing energy to come in. Let's do that one more time seated. Soften and allow the blessings to come in and fill your heart with fresh, beautiful energy. And once more, let's rest our hands over the breastbone, over the heart center, and allow ourselves to appreciate our beautiful heart that beats from our time in the womb to our last moment. It beats selflessly. And feel how the breath, the lungs massage the heart massages the lungs. And that's a miracle that already exists. It is within our body, and this same heart, this same kind of heart beats within every human breast and chest, beats within the animals. Every animal with a heart has this heart field, has this emotional field. If you'd like to join me in standing, if that feels right to you, please do. You're very welcome to continue seated. You can even take a break and just simply marvel at the beauty of the heart. Do what feels right to you. For those of you who've chosen to stand, or if you're seated and wish to, we're going to repeat the heart cleansing. If you're standing, the knees will be bent as we begin, and actually, the knees are going to bend as we press the hands out. This gives us more earthy stability. And then we rise into our full, beautiful vertical alignment. So let's just stretch into that vertical alignment. You can also lift your hands up if you want to when you're seated and press up. We want to really feel how tall we are, how that inner channel of our spine connects to the sky above and the earth below. And then we'll relax our hands down without losing that height and tent our hands over our heart. Take a nice breath in. We'll do two here. Sinking in the knees, lowering the hips so we feel the grounded stability. And as we inhale, rising up into our full, beautiful height. Let's do that one more time. Let that sound spread to the edges of the earth, taking any heaviness away. And inhale, feel that beautiful, beautiful freshness. And stand with your hands, feeling your heart center, connected to the sky above. Feel how long and expansive and spacious your posture is. We have the earth to lend us stability. We have the sky and our own visualization to lend us expansion. And we have our breath to fill us, continuing the expansion and bringing us to calm. If we know how to get calm, we can settle ourselves. The more we settle ourselves, the less we need to look outwards to acquire more things, the simpler we can be. And now let's step the feet open a little bit. And you could step the feet open if you're sitting on the chair. And we're going to unite the three hearts, the heart of the earth, our human heart, and the heart of the heavens. So in this way, we link everything up and we remember what is really important. We begin with the hands cupping a ball of light in front of the low belly. And as we exhale, we sink the knees a little bit. We acknowledge the earth. As we inhale, the light between the hands expands, fills us, and we stretch out to our fullness. And now, as we exhale, we soften over and we bow to the earth. You can go low or whatever amount. On the inhalation, the palms start to raise that energy towards the pelvic floor. As we exhale, the backs of the hands rise the energy to our human heart. As we inhale, the flats of the hands rise the energy through the throat, through the face, through the mind, the brain, and up to the sky as we exhale. Inhale, the elbows fold, they bend and they pull open, so we really expose the heart and breathe in. We come upwards, and now let's add the sound she. She, regulating the breath and connecting to the earth. Inhaling, bringing the palms up to the pelvic floor. Now whispering the sound she. She, carrying the energy to the heart. Inhaling the flats of the hands over the throat, over the face and brain. And now silent, just saying the sound to yourself. Inner she. On the inhale, spread the elbows, open the heart. And on the exhale, she, acknowledging the earth. Inhale, bringing the energy towards the pelvic floor, whispering sound. She, to the heart. Inhale, flats of the hands over the throat, face, mind. And now silent she, just whispering inside. And on the inhale, allow the riches to flood you into every cell. And we do one more today. She, taking the whole sound. Inhaling, carrying. Feel everything. We're slowing things down so we can really go deep. Whispering. She. Inhale over the throat and face. And now speaking the sound silently, connecting to the heavens. And on the inhale, it's a rejoicing, opening up. And on the exhale, softly lowering the hands to hold the ball of light, bending the knees. Inhaling, letting that light expand and filling yourself in all directions. Don't forget to extend through the neck. Exhale, feel the stability of the earth, the suspension of the sky, your beautiful breath filling you. And we'll do one more. Shift your weight onto whichever foot you like. On the inhalation and exhale, we bring the other foot in. Inhaling, we rise up, and exhaling, we fold the hands over the low belly. We straighten the legs, we lightly pull up the pelvic floor, and imagine that that energy continues on a line all the way up. Soft smile, relax the pelvic floor. Don't hold or cling to anything. So aparigraha is also a non-clinging. Appreciate everything in the moment. Let it go when its time has passed. And for today, consider what you really need to have a fullness in your life. What can you give away? Maybe you're going to change your mind about something you thought you needed to get on the internet today, and maybe you don't need it. Maybe you need to go for a walk instead. So just playing with ideas. I'd like you to find your own way to interpret non-hoarding, non-clinging, non-possessiveness, and a joy of simplicity. Thank you so much for joining in. Your presence means everything to me, and blessings, blessings, blessings. Bye for now.